Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Brennison. I'm the business leader of Infinite Shine Enterprises, and I want to welcome you to Selling on Social. Now, this is actually a part of a coaching class that I did with Rachel Hollis. I'm part of her coaching program. And what I'm about to share tonight is going to be a little bit Tupperized, meaning it will apply to our business as Tupperware consultants. The first thing I want to make sure everybody is aware of is we do have a social media policy. That's in the my.tupperware.com's website, and I highly encourage you to look it over. I know every business leader has this policy posted somewhere in their Facebook group as well, and we can all boost it up so you guys can see it. Basically, what it is for the social media policy is be ethical. Don't post anything on your news feed that everybody else can't do, so like free shipping or discounts of that way. Garage sale sites aren't supposed to be allowed, and pretty much put everything in the VIP group. Now, what I'm going to share with you today, though, really aligns with our policy and what Facebook is moving towards, because Facebook is moving towards a very community-centered field. So let's get started. So why is social media important is the very first question. So go ahead and put in the chat why you think social media is important, if that's easy for you to do. And while we're waiting for some people to put that in the chat, why it's important to me is because I like to be social with people. It's part of the reason why we're Tupperware consultants. And social media is designed to reach people that maybe we wouldn't see on an everyday basis. When I was growing up, the only way you could reach somebody is if you picked up a phone that was on a wall. Now, I don't even have a phone on a wall anymore. I have a phone I carry with me all the time. My husband just got home, so my dog is going to be barking, so hopefully the recording's still good. Now, there are 3 C's to social media. The first C is content, and it is the foundation of all social media. It's what you put out there. The second C is community, and it's really important in building a community, and we're going to talk about how you can do that. And the third C is called CTA, and CTA stands for call to action. So everything you post should have some kind of call to action of some sort. It could be a little call to action like the post that we made for reminders asking you to put a GIF into the comments, or it could be a really big call to action by asking somebody to buy something from you. So thinking about call to actions, you should really only be doing 3 non-selling call to actions to every 4 posts that you do. So every 1 in 4 posts should be something about buying something you are selling. And that comes from the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. And this is by Gary Vaynerchuk. I can't control the volume. You have to turn it up on your computer. I'm sorry. So Jab, Jab, Right Hook is really a good book to look at if you're looking at social media. And it talks about the jab, jab, jab is 3 things that you want to give them for free, like a recipe or a tip or a life hack. And then the right hook would be giving them a reason to buy something from you. Okay, so that's what that mentality is. So the first thing that we need to do is figure out what is the difference between personal and professional social media. The personal social media is your news feed. Your professional social media would be like your VIP groups. A lot of us know a lot of direct sellers, and how many of you have muted somebody because all they seem to put in their news feed is what's on sale? Go ahead and raise your hand if you've ever done that. So the hard truth is we are just as guilty for that, and I bet you some of our friends have muted us for that reason. So it's very important as Facebook moves forward with their social media policies that we change our focus a little bit and how often we actually post. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is there are 4 different platforms we're going to address tonight. Okay, the first one is Pinterest. Does anybody use Pinterest? You can lose an hour on Pinterest, yes? Because all you're sitting there doing is pinning recipes and pinning who's going to go to grandma's birthday parties and stuff like that. Pinterest is a visual discover tool. It's basically a search engine. That's all it is. And it's using pictures. Now, for our business, unless you have a website that has like a blog that you're doing recipes, Pinterest isn't something that's very usable, because if you pin something back to our paid website, it doesn't necessarily direct them to the product on your paid website because of how Tupperware is. It might direct them to Tupperware.com. So Pinterest is really good if you want to do it personally, but unless you have a website where you're doing a blog or sharing recipes that you can redirect people to, it may not be worth your time at this time. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. If you do use Pinterest, remember, nothing in social media is about you. Anything you post is always going to be about what does your client need. No matter if it's on Pinterest, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram. It's always about them, it's never about us. That's not news to us, because in Tupperware, we always know it's always about the other person. We always want to find out their why. We always want to find out the host's why. It's always about them, so this goes in line with that as well. So in line with that, if you are starting to use Pinterest, don't just pin your own stuff. Take and pin other people's stuff so that you show that it's not just about you and you're trying to be the #1 hero. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a thumbs up if we're on track. Cool. If you do want to use Pinterest, Tupperware has a top social that they're going to be talking more about at Jubilee that has a Pinterest ability as well. So be looking for that. The second social media platform we're going to talk about is YouTube. YouTube, like Pinterest, is also a search engine. If you want to know how to braid somebody's hair, you go to YouTube and you type in how to braid somebody's hair. The best thing you can do for your business is create recipes that you can put on YouTube. It's free to use. All you need is a Gmail account. But the types of recipes you want to put up there are ones that you're going to want to see. Okay? So whenever you're creating any kind of video, whether you're going live on Facebook, going on YouTube, or on IGTV, which we'll talk about with Instagram, you want to make sure your background is not distractible. Like, I would never sit in this chair when I'm demonstrating a recipe, because people are going to be wondering what that is. I have harsh light right here because I just wanted to give myself extra light. If you ever go to my YouTube channel, 90% of my videos are shot from my kitchen because I love my cabinets. And there's nothing behind it. Another place that I shoot a lot of videos is my kitchen table, because I have blinds that are not distracting. You can also put a clean white sheet over a window, and that would make it non-distracting as well. Having that kind of background is important because you want your consumer to focus on you and what you're demonstrating versus what's going on around you. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, the content that you want to use on YouTube, in our purpose, I would highly recommend, if you are a leader, things that your consultants would ask you regularly. Like, if you are asked a bazillion times, how do you do a party? Maybe you ask somebody to record a party for you while you're actually at a party. It's very different if it's staged. But if somebody could actually take your iPad and go with you to a party and your host is okay with it, and so are the guests, That would be a very powerful training tool. Other things that you can do is create a recipe. If you're going to do a recipe on YouTube, make sure that you have everything that you need so that you can do the recipe easily without having to look through cupboards or for missing ingredients. I usually sit and block out how I'm going to do it before I even turn on my video so I can make sure that I have the right tools, the right measuring cups. I'm not looking for things. And then if somebody's filming me, I talk with them about it so they know what shots I want to have. So every Tuesday at 4 in our I Love Tupperware group, we go live. I've never gone live by myself. I've either had one of my children or my husband help me. They know what we're going to be doing and how to position everything. It's important to have that dialogue. So YouTube is a search engine. Pinterest is a search engine. That's what they're good for. And you can totally use them for your business, but remember Pinterest, unless you have a website where you're making a blog, it's really not going to be as useful as maybe creating recipes on YouTube. Does this make sense to everybody so far? Cool. So let's talk about Instagram first, because I live mostly on Facebook. And I'll close with Facebook before we open it up with questions. So Instagram is thought of to be for the younger generation. And I'm putting that in air quotes because I'm at the age where some people think I'm young and some people think I'm old, but it doesn't matter because I love Instagram too. In reality, Instagram connects people through images and very short captions and hashtags. One thing I want to share with you is this is part of the PowerPoint from her class. So I want to show you, got to move you guys around so I can actually do that. Move that way up there. Perfect. So Instagram is a social platform designed to connect people through images and videos. Basically, what you're going to see there are inspirational, relatable, and beautiful pictures. That's what people want to see. So when you do go to create things with Instagram, picture quality really does matter. A very important tip is to do something that's relatable. Now, the big thing to figure out what's relatable is to figure out what are the 5 things you are most known for. Okay? So, for example, in Tupperware, I feel I am most known for being an entrepreneur, being a mom, being real, cooking, and the party aspect, having that fun. Those are the 5 things that I feel I'm known for. Those, in turn, will be the 5 things that I will be trying to post in the next month. So that Monday, I may be doing something about entrepreneurship, so maybe about the opportunity. Tuesday, I might be showing off my family and being a mom. Wednesday might be something about how I'm real, so it might be a quote. Cooking, I might share a recipe on Thursday, and on Friday, something that's fun or party related. Having those 5 things will naturally make it so I'm not selling. Because if I'm sharing my kids, it's very rare that you can throw in a price tag unless you're really wanting to get rid of them. Correct? I know some of you. That was a thought that crossed your mind, especially this time this summer. So here's the thing. Once you figure out what are the 5 things you want to be known for, that's what you focus on posting. And you don't have to create new content. This is really important. How many of you take pictures on your phone? How many of you have pictures on your phone that you think are pretty good quality? Okay, so what you can do is once you've come up with those 5 categories that you want to be known for, you can create folders on your phone. I have an iPhone, so I know it works that. I'm assuming it does the same on an Android. You can create folders in your photo album, and you can have the heading entrepreneur, mom, cooking, real, party. And then I can just grab a picture from each one of those each week. There's a free app called Planoly, Planoly. You can do one post a day for 30 days, and it's free. And that hooks right up to your Instagram account. So what I do is on a Saturday or a Sunday is I will sit and I will batch post, which means I go to my Planoly and I will think out, okay, I want to post this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it lets me see my grid. It lets me see what it looks like. I'll actually show you what Planoly looks like in just a second. Seeing your grid is really helpful because that way you are able to truly plan out what you're doing. Now, Tup Social right now does not have any kind of Instagram function. They're working on getting one. You can see all the U's. Those mean they're unscheduled because I haven't scheduled anything for the month of August yet. But this right here, this is my current feed. And what's really cool is when I start to schedule it, all I have to do, if I want to schedule this for Saturday at 6:15 because it's movie night, I save it, and now that's going to be the next thing, and it shows up right here. So it's very easy to plan. I can plan out my whole week in one sitting, so I'm not actually posting in real time. And honestly, that could be part of that 15 minutes of planning time that you do, because you don't want to sit there and always go, oh, I forgot to post, and then scurry. Does that make sense? If you batch post either on Facebook or Instagram, you have the ability to control your time. And time is way too precious for all of us. All right, so going back to my notes. Visuals really do matter. And so that's what the relatability comes from. You need to be able to, if you really want to show people you're a mom, then you're going to do pictures of you and your kids and things that mom would like. You don't have to have them pro-edited, but if you end up getting family pictures done and you want to get some in a different way, you can totally do it that way. Hashtags are really important on Instagram. People actually will search by hashtags here. Part of your 5 things that you're trying to figure out is your brand, so that entrepreneur and whatnot, is figuring out what hashtag works best. The ones I use most are Mom of Teens, MN Mom, because I want to put in my thing, Confidence, Be Your Own Boss. Those are the hashtags I use. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you got to use 30 hashtags. You got to use 11. Rachel recommends 2 to 3. Because anything more than that, it looks obnoxious. And most people don't even want to hang out with that person. The goal is to do 1 Instagram post a day. The same is true with Facebook. You can do up to 3, but if you've never done a consistent job of posting on Instagram or Facebook, honestly, pick the platform you like most, be it Instagram or Facebook, and consistently show up every day with just 1 post a day. Okay? If it's going to be on Facebook, and that's what we're going to talk about next, I would highly recommend doing it in a group or a business page. Now, I want you to write down business page on one side, group on the other, because there's big differences. Business page can connect up to your paid website. You can create public events there. The problem with business pages is Facebook only lets people see, even if they like your business page, about 3% of what you post. So if your business is driven by a lot of public events, like business leaders are, for companies, business pages make really a lot of sense. The nice thing about having a business page, though, is you can have a business account on Instagram, and that could be your separate Tupperware one if you want to separate your personal one from your business one, and they can cross-promote that way. You can't have an Instagram account connect up with a group. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, the cool thing about groups are, if you have a page and a group, is you can connect your group up to your page, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. And then, if you have on your page a Shop Now button, which is a feature you can edit, and you can Google all how to do that. I highly recommend Googling, how do I edit my Facebook page? You'll find the answers to whatever you need. Better than you could ever get from getting from me or from any business leader. Then, when you do a post on your business page or your VIP group, you can say in the text, click the Shop Now button to buy this. Because Facebook is hiding posts where you put your paid website. Because Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook. So if you don't want to set up a business page, and honestly, girlfriends don't, if you don't want to have to monkey with two spots, focus on one thing. Get good at one thing before you start adding anything else. Okay? I made salsa for a year, and I did not deviate from making salsa for a year at any Tupperware party until I got good at it with a demonstration. Same is true with social media. Pick a platform that you really like and stick with it. If you don't have anything on Facebook, the only thing I recommend that you set up is a group, and that's that other side of the column. The groups can be public or they can be private. My personal VIP group is private, because if I want to run free shipping or you get a discount here or anything like that, you can't do that in a public setting. That's against Tupperware's policies. At Infinite Shine, we have an I Love Tupperware group that's public, and that will always redirect people to the consultants that invite them to that group. But it also will only ever show things that face value. Does this make sense to everybody? So I want to show you what those look like. So I've got to find my website. Here we go. All right, so this is what Pinterest looks like for Infinite Shine. And it's just my Pinterest board that I changed to that. I do have a website that I link things back to, so this makes sense for me at my level. My YouTube channel, I have all of my videos here, and I have recipes here as well. I love to show my recipes here. People do pay attention to them. This is our studio page. Most business leader levels or director levels have a page. As a consultant, it's really not necessary. But this Shop Now button right here is what I was talking about that you can edit. And you just edit the button, and you can put in your paid website. Okay? If you do have a paid website, this is our public Infinite Shine group. You can add that paid website here, so now my Shop Now button shows up in my group too. So anytime I tell them they can buy something, I can say, go to the consultant that invited you or click Shop Now. Does this make sense to everybody? So the key tips for tonight are pick a platform you want to work on and do it consistently every day. On Facebook, you have the ability to post in groups. Does everybody see this little clock right here? So just like I can batch post on my Instagram, I can batch post using this, or if you have Tup Social. And the images I use on Instagram, I can totally use the same images in my Facebook group, but you would want to use them on different days. So if I use a recipe on a Thursday on Facebook, I might post that on Saturday instead, because you're going to catch different people even if both people are there. Okay? Tup Social is something that's going to be revealed after Jubilee, and it's going to be starting. Some people have it now, which is why I bring it up. All right, so I'm going to, at this time, I'm going to open it up to questions, and I'm going to unmute all, but then I'll mute you, but you can unmute yourself for questions. So, does anybody have any questions relating to what to post? Oh, I forgot to tell you this really important thing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Don't post sales flyers on your newsfeed is the biggest advice that I can give you. We're all very tempted to do so. Instead, post pictures of you using those products on sale or real life pictures. Have them, for a call to action, message you or comment below if they are interested in something. We can't rely on our news feed, though, at all to reaching people. Facebook only shows 30% of what's on your news feed. They show 100% of what's in your direct messages. So if you really want to reach somebody, send them a message. Pick up a phone, send them a text. You're not going to reach a whole lot of people by posting it even in your group, because like I said, they only let you see so much. But they will see more in a group versus a page. Okay? So now with that said, I think I made it so you guys can unmute yourself. Nicole, I think I answered your question, should you get a separate Instagram for Tupperware? When I first started using Instagram, my kids were very little, so I did have a separate Instagram for my business than I do my personal. Now I don't, because my kids are older and I really don't care, and it's a lot to manage. So I don't have different things for my for our Infinite Shine ENT Instagram and my personal, mostly because I also want to show that I'm a mom, and I believe that sharing who you are and what you are helps people want to be around you. You also just don't have to show your kids. I follow Pink. She's a singer, for those of you who don't know who she is. Awesome singer. She doesn't show her kids half the time anymore because people were giving her bad comments all the time. So that is a possibility, or you show their backsides versus their faces. A lot of famous people put emojis over people's faces if they don't want them to be seen. All right, so it looks like Heidi did a really good job of taking notes in the chat. Thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions? It's still recorded, and I unmuted everybody. If you're allowed, you can mute yourself back up again.
I'm just getting the feeling that I really need to invest in a laptop if I want to get things done, because like even the stuff you're talking about now is just confusing me because I only have it on my phone and I don't have all those options the same as you guys have on a computer.
It is easier to do work on a computer, I will be very honest with you, or even on a tablet. There are a lot of tablets out there that function like a computer. So the investment for a computer isn't as high as it used to be 1 year ago. Is it allowed for Tupperware's policy against posting pictures of? It's just recommended not to not post the sales flyers. The reason why is because when we talked about in the beginning is people will mute you, and then you're not seeing anybody anyways. So it's better to do it in your VIP group than it is on your newsfeed, When I want people to go to my news or my VIP group, what I do is I make a post, hey, Sarah B VIPs, you ought to check out my group. And I make it in a bold color because you can change the background on your post. And I also put that in my story then. And then that's a cue for them to go look, and they'll see the new sales specials that way. But it really is more recommended for you to share. Think about what you love about social media. What are some of the things you love about social media? Do we go to Facebook to be sold to? Do we go to Facebook to see lots of ads? When I get my email open, I see Kohl's ads every single day. I hit delete every single day, unless I need to go shopping there. You don't want to become that person for your people who follow you. Does this make sense to everybody? The other key thing about Facebook groups is this: inviting somebody to join it before adding them is a really helpful tool for them to actually stay there and to see, because Facebook has prevented anybody from seeing anything if you don't accept the ability to join it. So any other questions? This is your Q&A. You can take yourself off mute and ask away. All right, well, I'm going to stop the recording.